Sometimes you don't see twist villains coming. Other times, they're painfully obvious. Here are the best and worst twist villains from every animation studio, starting with Don Bellweather from Zootopia.
You know, it's a real proud day for us little guys.
Bellweather, make room, will you? Come on.
Yikes! If someone treated me that way, I'd have turned villainous too. For most of the film, Bellweather is framed as the overlooked assistant who's polite and jittery. In fact, she seems too nice at first.
Just call me if you ever need anything, okay? You've always got a friend at City Hall, Judy. All right, bye-bye.
With that much enthusiasm, you can't help but be a bit suspicious of her. However, when the mayor constantly treats her like a background prop, the writers clearly want us to sympathize with her.
Nice for me to be...
While we're young, Smellweather.
But while Bellweather feels like a pushover at first, it's moments like these that you look back to when she finally reveals herself.
We're on the same team, Judy. Underestimated, underappreciated.
When you've been pushed around for being the little guy, you end up snapping. The real problem, however, is with the execution. In the entire film, she's around for like 6 scenes. That doesn't feel like enough time to fuel her resentment and motive. Another major discrepancy is her behavior after the reveal.
Fear always works. And I'll dart every predator in Zootopia to keep it that way.
That's bold, considering she spent most of the movie jittering like a leaf. And that's the thing. Before the twist, she was a completely different person. Now she's suddenly a confident, well-spoken villain with a thirst for power. Don Bellweather, therefore, could have been so much more. She's literally the wolf in sheep's clothing metaphor, which is why she feels like wasted potential. On the other hand, Disney got it completely right with King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Aha! You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Aha! You hit a guy with glasses. That's well played.
Right off the bat, King Candy is established as a goofy character. He feels like the Mad Hatter got trapped inside a racing game and decided to start a monarchy. But we can tell from the start that he's not good.
Stop in the name of the king!
He also has access to a room full of code that he guards like it's treasure, allowing him to control everything. So we already know he's a villain, but the writers still try to confuse us with his plausible defense.
And when they see her glitching and then you twitching and just being herself, they'll think our game is broken. We'll be put out of order for good.
For a second, you think this is misguided leadership rather than malice. Meanwhile, the real seeds of the twist had been planted way earlier in the film, which leads us to the real twist.
I'm Turbo, the greatest racer ever.
That is when everything clicks at once. The twist wasn't whether King Candy is evil, it was about who he was, Turbo. Suddenly, we understand his need for control and his hatred for glitches. He already destroyed one game because he couldn't handle being irrelevant, so he wasn't about to let that happen again. The biggest reason why this twist works is that King Candy was never hidden from us. He's been there all along, just with more layers to him than we realized.
Because of you, Ralph, I'm now the most powerful virus in the arcade!
Turbo ends up becoming an even bigger threat than before. His personality doesn't magically shift either. He still has that same manic and controlling energy, just cranked up a notch. As a result, King Candy is considered one of the best twist reveals in animation history, unlike Smiler from the Emoji Movie, who barely counts as a twist villain.
Hi! Don't be nervous, I won't bite. Hi, I'm Smiler. Don't touch me.
This is just a few seconds into Smiler's first scene in the Sony film, and you already suspect her. Smiler is supposed to be a twist villain, but she's already giving off villain energy before the opening act is finished. And when Jean messes up, we start to see more of it.
Like you are is a malfunction.
Is it just me, or did her smile turn more evil? At this point, the twist has already happened in the audience's head.
If you get deleted, you don't have to worry about what your purpose is, or your future, or why you're such a malfunction.
You see what I mean? She's not even hiding it anymore. To be fair, we get where she's coming from. Jean's malfunction endangers the system, and everyone almost gets erased. But Smiler takes visible satisfaction in deletion, and she's terrible at concealing it.
You're actually gonna delete him in front of everyone. Psst, it's still on. It's still on. Oh, Jiminy Sassafras!
And the worst villain award goes to Smiler. At this point, it doesn't even feel like a twist, just poor writing.
Smiler, I think you might be making too much stink out of all this.
Oh, really? How about you're next?
This right here is confirmation of what we knew 15 minutes into the film. Smiler therefore fails tragically at being a twist villain. She doesn't evolve before or after her supposed reveal. She has always had one goal: delete malfunctions and maintain authority. As an audience, we don't get moments where earlier scenes snap into place because we caught on to her villain vibe right away. But Sony definitely made up for it with the Prowler from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Unlike the other villains in this list, there's nothing light or comic about the Prowler. From the moment he first appears on screen, he moves fast, hits hard, and follows Kingpin's orders to a fault, including chasing a 14-year-old all across the city.
Give me that thing. Don't be stupid, kid. Hand it over now.
Up to this point, there's no question about the Prowler being a ruthless villain. So where exactly is the twist? Like King Candy, the twist isn't whether the Prowler is evil, it's who he is.
You know me, sir. I don't ever quit.
It turns out the masked villain who's been relentlessly chasing Miles is his own Uncle Aaron. He's the cool uncle who encourages his passion for art, his confidant who Miles always went to for all kinds of problems.
Hey. No. Hey.
Clearly, Aaron plays a huge role in Miles' life, which is why this twist hurts our hero. But by the time Aaron realizes what's going on, it's too late.
Oh, no.
As the Prowler, he's relentless, but as Uncle Aaron, he can't pull the trigger on his own nephew, even when Kingpin orders him to. And this choice costs him his life. DreamWorks, on the other hand, really dropped the ball with Chelsea Vanderzee from Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken.
The new girl. Thank you.
If you've seen a single high school movie in your life, you already know where this is going. The cool, instantly popular new girl latches on to the socially awkward protagonist. I mean, at this point, the real twist would have been if Chelsea turned out completely innocent, but still, let's pretend we didn't see it coming. Soon, we find out that, like Ruby, she isn't just a regular teenage girl.
How are you even down here? Because I'm a mother flippin' mermaid.
To be fair though, Chelsea's a fun and sassy character. She's confident and even pushes Ruby to step outside her comfort zone.
Ruby, you're a giant kraken. Don't you think you could aim a little bit higher than a normal teenager?
The popular mermaid befriending the awkward Kraken and becoming genuine friends despite their history could have been a much better plot twist. Too bad DreamWorks had to ruin it though.
15 years of waiting to get revenge on your mother. What? Dethrone your grandmother.
Ah yes, there it is. But here's the problem. We already knew. I mean, DreamWorks literally revealed her as the villain in the trailer.
You're just a dumb teenager.
Nerissa is exactly what the trailer said she was, and simply switches from supportive best friend to revenge-driven sea monarch. She's another villain who had potential, but fell prey to poor writing and marketing fails. DreamWorks doesn't use the twist villain trope often, but they got it right with Professor Marmalade from The Bad Guys.
Good morning, students of goodness, and welcome to the first day of the rest of your best life.
This squeaky-voiced philanthropist is polite and aggressively optimistic. He's constantly preaching righteousness like he's a walking, talking self-help seminar.
But inside there's a flower, the flower of goodness, and when it blooms and you feel that tingle of positivity radiating through your body, you're going to want to feel it all the time.
This energy helps Marmalade have it all: the public's approval and media support. He even seems genuinely interested in helping the bad guys reform using his rehabilitation experiment.
On a fundamental level, it's about putting someone else's needs ahead of your own.
Oh no, no way.
Yeah, there's no way any of these guys would ever change. Regardless, Marmalade still seems to have endless belief in them, and no one would expect anything iffy from him.
So you finally get it.
What? You stole the meteorite?
It turns out Marmalade orchestrated the meteor theft and framed the bad guys. All that philanthropy was just for optics so that no one could ever suspect him of doing such a thing.
You little pouchy cheeks. I'll kill you. You hear me?
DreamWorks did a great job on this story about labels and perception. Since the wolf looks dangerous, he must be evil. The tiny guinea pig looks harmless, so he must be good. Therefore, he's proof that you should never judge a book by its cover. In some cases, though, the cover is exactly what it seems to be.
If I discovered the origin of the universe, my brother would find a way to market it as a foot massage.
Why are they laughing? That's not even funny. And second of all, why is her name Evelyn Deavor? Pixar really named their twist villain Evil Endeavor and then expected people to be surprised. If the name doesn't somehow give it away, her appearance does. But her looks aren't the only thing that foreshadow her true self.
Or Dad could have taken Mom to the safe room as soon as he knew there was trouble.
I disagree strongly.
In a film where everyone's a superhero fanatic, you'd think the only person who wasn't would be the villain. For a brief second, you might think you're wrong and that the villain is someone else pulling the strings.
Was controlled by the screens built into his glass.
Well, that was anticlimactic. To be fair though, Evelyn's motive isn't bad. Her parents died waiting for heroes who never came, so of course her resentment towards superhero culture is understandable. However, just like with Bellweather, the real issue is the execution. Her emotional backstory barely lasts one monologue before she switches from skeptical tech visionary to full-blown manipulator. The twist has clearly failed. Pixar may have fumbled the bag with Evelyn, but the studio hit it out of the park with Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2. He's part of Woody's old television gang and lives in a pristine collector's box. He seems like the calm and reasonable elder in the room. Nothing about him screams betrayal, which is exactly why the reveal works.
I tried reasoning with you, Woody, but you keep forcing me to take extreme measures.
This is the light bulb moment that snaps everything into place. Earlier in the film, Woody suspected Jesse of turning on the TV to stop his escape. But after the twist reveal, we realize he's the one who turned on the TV while manipulating everything behind the scenes.
Fair? I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a lifetime on a dime store shelf watching every other toy be sold.
And now we understand his motive, resentment built over years of rejection. While Woody fears that Andy has outgrown him, Stinky Pete never even got chosen. He watched toy after toy leave the shelf while he remained untouched and unwanted. And that desperation soon turns dangerous.
Your choice, Woody. You can go to Japan together or in pieces.
Who would have thought that the kind-looking grandpa could be so brutal? But this is what happens when you stay bitter for years. And that bitterness turns him into a ruthless prospector who will do anything to get the validation he craves. Plus, at a time when twist villains weren't common in animated movies, Stinky Pete was basically a pioneer, making him one of the best twist villains in animation history.